Engrossed in contemplation, Symone sat at the kitchen counter, bathed in the warm glow of the pendant lights above, her laptop humming quietly in front of her. The soft clatter of her fingers on the keys punctuated the otherwise still house. Her wine glass, filled with raspberry lemonade, reflected the light, giving the illusion of a relaxed evening. Yet, beneath her composed exterior, her thoughts churned restlessly, like waves against a rocky shore. The memory of Josh flickered in her mind unbidden. That night in Atampa was supposed to be a passing moment, yet its echoes haunted her. She had danced too close to the edge, and even now she could still feel the ghost of his hand on her waist. The thought was both intoxicating and suffocating. Symone and Josh met at the hotel lounge, sharing quiet camaraderie until a familiar song led them to the dance floor. Their upbeat rhythm slowed into an intimate sway as a slow jam began, enveloping them in a private world. Josh's touch and the scent of him stirred feelings Symone had tried to suppress, but the moment overwhelmed her resolve. As their lips met, it ignited a passion long simmering, crossing a boundary they couldn't uncross. Torn by guilt, Symone reminded Josh they were both married, her words faltering against the intensity of her emotions. They returned to their table, the air heavy with tension and unspoken truths. Alone later in her hotel room, Symone wrestled with the consequences of their connection, her emotions a storm of desire, regret and duty as she sent her husband a bittersweet goodnight text, knowing the path ahead would be anything but simple. As Symone worked at her laptop, memories of her charged encounter with Josh resurfaced, triggered by his recent visit to her office and the revelation of his divorce. The thought of him intruding on her mind unsettled her, especially as she yearned for intimacy that had long been absent in her marriage. Darius's voice interrupted her reverie, startling her from the unwelcome thoughts. Feigning composure, she responded to his questions about work, aware of his subtle suspicion. His suggestion to spend time together carried a weight that unsettled her further, as she reflected on how distant they had become. His sudden attentiveness, though comforting, left her questioning his motives and grappling with her own conflicting emotions. As Darius made light-hearted gestures of affection, Symone tried to focus on the present, finishing her tasks and ensuring the house was secure. Yet, beneath her calm exterior, she remained ensnared in a web of unresolved feelings, her emotional maze as daunting as ever. Upon entering the bedroom, Symone found Darius leaning against the headboard, a tray of her favourite snacks and herbal tea on his lap. She smiled warmly. "What's all this?" she asked. "I just wanted to hang with my wife," he replied. She settled beside him, savouring his warmth as they started a Netflix movie, Easterling. 30 minutes in, Darius shifted closer, his hand brushing hers. His smouldering gaze sent a flicker of warmth through her. Gently he traced her jawline, his touch electrifying. Their kiss was tender but charged, an apology, a plea, and a promise. As his arms encircled her, months of tension melted away. "I've missed you," he whispered. "Why did we stop being us?" She didn't answer in words, but kissed him deeper, reconnecting through touch. Later, held in his embrace, she listened to his heartbeat, hoping this spark was the start of something lasting. For now, she chose to stay present, loved and held. As Darius fell asleep, Symone's mind raced with questions about their relationship and their recent intimacy. It was the next day, and the aroma of coffee woke Symone. A break from her routine of making breakfast.
I realized Darius wasn't beside me. Wow, that sun is bright. Or is it that I am in a good mood?
Glancing at her phone, she panicked, rushing to shower and dress. 15 minutes later, Darius appeared with a breakfast tray. Coffee, toast, bacon, everything perfect.
Good morning, beautiful.
Tempted to skip it due to her tight schedule, she indulged.
Good morning, who made this?
Camille helped, but I made the majority.
She smiled, but couldn't ignore the distance between them. His small gestures felt sincere, but what was really happening between them?